Hey Instagram, it's Maha. Just coming on to share with you all that I have started back doing face-to-face counselling. So I was back today up on the Gold Coast. Hey Beta, doing face-to-face counselling for pregnancy and birth preparation and clearing old stories from past births. Really embracing and embodying this new pregnancy. And I was talking to this beautiful girl today who had a difficult labor in her first baby's birth, and her baby is now 5 years of age. And she wanted to do some clearing with me, and we did some belly dance birth, some dance of the womb, some womb work, some pelvic work, affirmations, embodied affirmations, all of the things that I teach, because I think that it's really important when we're doing counseling that we actually add in movement, that it's not just all about talking. And the funny thing is that she has been to so many psychiatrists, clinical psychologists, psychiatrists, midwives to try and clear this old trauma. And she said after the session that I am the first person that has ever got her, that has understood what it was that she was conveying to me. And I find it mind-boggling that there are people who are in these positions working with pregnant mums, yet they're not getting it. What it is the lack of the heart. Yes, that's right. Trauma lives in the cells and needs movement to release. Exactly. But also what it needs is someone who is in their heart space. Not speaking from up here in the head. Clueless. That's the word, Beta. So, and that's what she was saying to me. She says, no one has got what it is that I'm saying. And that's because I don't sit there in a position of power. I sit there as an equal, as an embodied elder, as a woman who's walked this path for 25 years as a birth educator. But there was something really interesting that I was talking to her about, and I often refer to this as the layers in the body that get revealed when we come to give birth. And we talked about how the womb grows, the baby physically grows, but the energetic body and the emotional body remembers things from the past, and that gets amplified. And we were chatting about the story that she had and how beautifully her body was working in her pregnancy, even though it was bringing up trauma and anxiety. I was saying that this is a wonderful expression of what needs to be released through your body, rather than something that's labeled as negative and, traumatic and a terrible situation. No, the body is cleansing. The body is doing what it needs to do through the pregnancy process. The body doesn't always do love and light and joy. When we're pregnant, the body actually does release, challenge, difficulty. The amygdala is triggered, the memories of the past, anxiety. That is a part of the cleansing process. And I think we give women this idea that any kind of negative emotion that is difficult to deal with is wrong or bad or shameful or judged. And I can see how the young girls really need us as elders and as women who've walked the path before to be able to tell them, no, your body is doing what it should be doing, what it's meant to do. This is a positive collaboration between your psychic body, your emotional body, your energetic body, and your baby. Your baby is talking to you through these expansions. And so it was so interesting the way that she was able to turn around and actually feel into her heart and, realize that, yes, this is it. This is the path I need to take through these layers of the body. And we don't know what parts of the body are going to be exposed and amplified and magnified on the journey. So it is gold. It's really important information for young women who are birthing today to have, because they're just being thrown to the lions, into the medical system, who really, on the whole, doesn't operate from the heart. It comes from a cold clinical place with, judgment and measurements, and compartmentalizes things, and, labels women. When we blow all that out of the water, as Rumi says, outside of our ideas of right and wrong, there is a field. I'll meet you there. And in fact, I was using the imagery of the field because those layers, imagine them like gates, yeah? So, just checking this. Yes, it's up. So these are the gates that we come to through the pregnancy process and are preparing for birth. I don't know how many gates I'm going to have to open or how many gates are before me that I need to look at and walk through into the field of awareness, the field to prepare, the field to challenge myself. And there's often this idea too that we do all the work when we're pregnant. And so then when we give birth, nothing else will arise. No, more will be excavated. More will rise up in the actual birth. And that can give women a shock because they think, well, I've done all the work in pregnancy, but now I have to do the work in the labor, in the birth. So the same process. And that is why, as Beta said, Doula Beta says, the movement continues. We have to keep moving through these layers. And yes, there are periods of stillness and stop and recalibration and taking a breath and being patient. And that's the other thing that's lacking. And she was telling me her birth story from before, and the lack of patience and the lack of understanding that giving birth is a somatic body process that is revealing to us those things that we need to face, not just about ourselves, but from our mother line, our paternal line, the world line. What is it that we're birthing our babies into, this kind of world? We are processing so much as women. We need compassion and love and time and space and understanding when we walk this path. We don't need cold clinical professionals, whatever that even means. We need heart opening communication and reverence and respect and holiness for this experience. So, this idea of the gates was a really beautiful way to look at what we are facing. And will we open that gate? I don't know if you'll open that gate. Will you? I can't say if that is a gate that you are willing to open through your birth preparation, through your birth, into your mothering. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of gates placed in front of us, to the side of us, behind us. Yeah, are we willing to open that? Do we feel safe? Do we feel secure? Do we feel understood? Or are we continually misunderstood? Are we blamed for our old ways of being and our old stories? Or are we met with gentleness and a softness and a willingness to be held in a space of understanding? And this continues through our whole lives as women. As many of you know, I'm 5 years post-menopause. I'm still opening gates. I'm actually opening the heaviest gates of all, the ones that I've really pushed down into my womb. The deepest story of our womb will rise. It has no other choice in menopause. I'm not bleeding it away. I'm not shedding it away through my blood in my life in that way. Now I have to face my deepest story. Am I willing? Am I brave enough? Am I courageous enough? Do I feel safe? So each rite of passage has these same elements attached to them. So I just wanted to come on and share that because I think, women coming for counseling or debriefing needs to be based in a heart place where we are equal. I'm not a professional that knows everything and you know nothing. We all bring to the table all of our experience and our knowledge and our life and everything that's gone before us and everything that we are going to encompass and embrace and embody in our futures. This is the way of the feminine. It's circular, it's moving, it's the waves, Yes, holding space for those movements. And that's where we talk about the belly dance birth movements of the circle, of the figure eight, of the spiral movement. Yeah, this is all the connection to nature, to my life. I'm not connected to male language or vocabulary as a woman or a male spirituality. Yes, Reba, they are not mentally ill. And that is what the psychiatrist was saying to her. Yeah, the label that you have something wrong with you. We need to label you. But all she's doing is excavating through those layers and meeting those gates along the way. And everyone around them and they themselves think there's something wrong with them. That's right. This is the system. The system is constantly breaking women. And then they medicate them. That's right. That's right. Exactly. And I'm just talking to one woman, and I do counseling all over the world online, and great to be doing it now face to face. But so many women with this same story. What is going on? There's no money in the heart. Thanks, Reba. I'm getting passionate, as you know that I do. But there's no money in the heart. Yeah, we're no longer heart connected. They want us to fit in boxes, as Doula Beta says. That's right. And if you don't fit in the box, we'll find a box. We'll find a box to put you in. So it's everywhere, Reba, everywhere, all over the world. Whether I go to India, the US, Australia, New Zealand, in my backyard, it's just women walking around broken. And pregnancy, birth, and mothering lays out the foundations of our life. And it also is the purpose of raising consciousness, moving through, lifting up the voices of women. It is a war on women. I agree. It's a big war on women. But women are warring on themselves. We need to instill that sense of safety and strength in the power of our own voice. And many of you know I speak about that. I speak my own voice for birth. From the experiences that I've had, the lineage that I've come from. I use my own language. We have to start using our own language and stop referring to the cold clinical language. We must stop it. Too many boxes, not enough connection and human beingness. Exactly. Women are harsh on themselves, and they are. And I think there has been a separation from the elder wisdom coming down through to the younger women today. And, whether that social media creates that, I've had this talk before, about women really not finding the elder women. We are here. We want to share with you all. But sometimes I think we get severed and left to the side. And I know in the Western society that women, you reach 50, 55, I'm 60 next year. You get to that age and boom, you're thrown to the side. No, this is our most potent years. For the next 30, 40 years are my most potent years. This is the time when I want to share my wiser self with everybody. So this disconnect is dangerous and needs healing. Exactly, Doula, exactly. But we need to heal it within ourselves as well. So we need to be very honest with ourselves and what it is that we're carrying that's unresolved or wounded, that I'm projecting onto other women. I have to also be aware of that myself all the time, checking in with myself, so I know that I have things that I need to bring to consciousness and to bring to my awareness and sit with and really be honest with myself in the work that I do, in the birthing work. 25 years, but still, I'm still learning and still sharing and wanting to give women the best love, space, experience, reassurance. The most underestimated emotion in pregnancy and birth and mothering is reassurance. Yes, we're going to fuck up. Yes, but that's part of it. That's the gate. We open into another field. Yeah? There's no right, wrong, good, bad, shame, blame. We've got to get away from this kind of language, and we have to look at it through the sacred lens. And that is what my work in embodied birth is all about, and belly dance birth. What would the sacred lens speak here? And of course the physical side and the drudgery and the challenges and the difficulty of day-to-day mothering. We've all been through that. We've all been tested. But that test is my growth. That test is my truth. That test is my authenticity. That test is my voice. Yeah? That is my sovereignty and autonomy. And it is what I share and I pass on. So, I had my little rant for the day, but I want you to keep in mind that we are always evolving and growing and moving through the layers as women. And, we are connected to nature. We are cyclic. We need to support each other purely and deeply, not from ego. That's right, Reba, well done. That's right. The negative is what opens up the potential for the new to emerge if we really engage with the excavation. And that is what I was talking to this beautiful woman today about, is that the resistance, the resistance is what taps us on the shoulder. So when we're giving birth, if we meet resistance, how do I navigate that? But I make a choice about that when I'm birthing. I can choose to hand my power over. I can choose to get drugs. I can choose a cesarean. That's my choice. But if we are looking at the experience from that sacred lens, then I'm more engaged, as you say, with that excavation. I am willing to dive deep. I am willing to be shown what it is that I need to learn and grow with. I can choose not to grow and learn, and that's okay as well. Yeah. So that's why I talk about that 360-degree vision of birth. So I am encompassed by all and everything. And at the end of our session with this beautiful lady I was counseling today, for those who may have just joined, I said to her, and you know what? At the end of the day, what you do with all of this, because she's doing lots of different things to prepare, I said, you just throw it all away. Know everything, then let it all go and come into trusting. And we got to the bottom of why trust is very hard for some women, because the antithesis of trust, or the other side of trust, is control. And control is usually the walls that are created from anxiety or a bad experience that we've had in life. It is our shield. It is our protection. So control is not something to be judged, because it's protected us. Yeah? It's protected me from feeling deeply my anxiety or my difficulties or those challenges. We're not always ready to face things either. But that's the thing about pregnancy and birth. It knocks and taps on the door of all of those things that we've built walls around. And this is what we were talking about as well in the counselling session, is that you need to make that choice if you are going to knock on the door, open the gate, walk into that new field, and you may be challenged. Have you got the right support around you? Coming back to what I said at the very beginning of this, is it someone who is in a clinical, cold environment giving you advice, or do you feel connected in the heart with that person that really understands what it is you're going through? And that will determine for some women whether those walls of control can come down. And so many of us have been hurt and abused and traumatized in life itself. So, we naturally build up those walls and that defense. So to break it down, requires a whole set of other parameters of trusting. So when we say to women, trust birth, it's not just an intellectual thing. You can't just trust birth. Yeah? I have to be able to trust birth with what I have built around the distrust. So I need to go back to that, and that is painful. It is painful. So it takes time to break that down, if at all, or if at all will go. But trust sits in the realm of complete letting go and vulnerability in emotional safety. And that is really crucial. So many areas that we as women are dealing with. And what I see in the birth preparation field is that it's very superficial on so many levels. And that's why I released my online Embody Birth program. If you are willing to take a deep dive, if you have that intention to really excavate and look deeply at the journey and claim it and own it. And so anyone who's interested in my online program and who's just listened to this video, you get to understand the Maha principles of birth and life. And life. They are all connected. Birth is life and life is birth. And we are always birthing a new moment and a new idea and a new project and a new part of ourselves. Are we willing to reveal that? And if we are, how does that look? And if we're not, why? How does that look? So I want to send everybody lots of love. Thank you for being here. And as I said again, if you want to check out my work, check out my website, mahalmusa.com, links in the bio here, and reach out to me anytime if you would like a counseling session or for any reason at all, collaboration, webinars, interviews, podcasts. Always love talking to the wonderful women that I meet online, that I'm very grateful for. So sending lots of love. Thank you to everyone, and mwah, namaste. Bye.